But let's move on and let's talk about the earnings yet again. We're talking about Fractal Analytics that it's posted as its Q4 numbers. And let's quickly take a look at the numbers first. The PAT is seeing an uptick of 14.8% on a year-on-year basis at 117 crores. The margins are also seeing an expansion of 529 bips. The revenue is seeing an uptick of 3.7% and the EBITDA is also seeing an uptick of 40%. On a year-on-year basis, on a sequential basis, I beg your pardon. And on the back of that, Fractal Analytics is in focus today. And we have the management now who's joining us. Ashwath Bhatt, who's the Chief Financial Officer of Fractal Analytics. Plus, we also have Shrikant Velakmani, who's the co-founder and Group CEO and Executive Vice Chairman at Fractal Analytics. Hi, good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Shrikant, let me come to you first. What are the key factors behind the miss that's coming on the revenue front? There has been a slight miss there. What have been the factors that contributed to that miss?
Overall, our revenues have grown by 19% for the year and 17% for the quarter year over year. We have had specific issues in the TMT vertical where we had a minus 19% year. This is because of two client-specific issues. One of those clients did a joint venture because of which they stopped working with us or have dramatically reduced working with us. And in the other situation, we have a client in an enterprise software company that's essentially reorganizing itself because of which that has gone down. So if you exclude TMT, our growth rate is 27% for the year and even higher in the quarter. So overall, Fractal is growing well. Our banking and finance vertical is growing at 40%. Our life sciences and healthcare segment is growing at 80%. So overall growth is pretty robust and we expect enterprise AI to take off. Yes, we had client-specific issues because of which the TMT vertical was somewhat soft this year.
All right, Shrikant. HLS and BFSI delivered strong growth in Q4. What are the key AI use cases or deals driving the performance and how sustainable is this momentum?
Overall, we are seeing a very robust growth in the healthcare and life sciences vertical, as well as banking and financial services verticals. While AI is growing across all industries, places where there is more cognitive repetitive work or where there is intense competition or there is need for reinvention, we are seeing massive growth as well. So you're seeing healthcare and life sciences verticals, which are healthcare specifically very process intensive. They're seeing an opportunity to become more efficient, more productive. Life sciences, where there's increasing need for drug discovery, improving overall effectiveness as a firm, where we are seeing increased offtake. And banking and financial services is the area where there's massive potential for AI to help companies improve their productivity, improve their overall growth rate. And we are seeing that as well. So yes, these industries have structural advantages vis-a-vis AI, and therefore we are seeing that in this year, but also likely to continue in the coming year.
Shrikant, the net revenue also, the retention stood at 112%. How much of this is coming from expansion in the existing use cases versus the new AI platform deployment?
So net revenue retention is a very important term. It tells you your existing clients, how much are they growing their business with you in that year relative to last year. So it's all about existing clients. And we're seeing that at 112%, which means that existing clients are expanding their business with us by 12%, which means that there are some clients which are expanding much more than that, some clients much less than that. The net average is 112%. Yes, underlying this growth is also the deployment of the Cogentic platform. Our client relationships are very important to us. We continue to grow with them. And this is one of the most important vectors of Fractal's overall growth. Because they like what they do, we have a very high net promoter score, and therefore they expand their business with us every year.
All right, Shrikant, last question before we let you go. What is your revenue and margin guidance for FY27?
So we do not provide specific revenue growth or margin guidance as a company. However, what we can say is that the enterprise AI space is taking off very nicely. We expect that to be a pretty significant tailwind, tempered by some headwinds coming from general macroeconomic situations that we're all very aware of. Overall, we expect our growth to be very good and our margins to expand through the year.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us and weighing in on the numbers and the roadmap ahead for Fractal. Thank you. We'll let you go on that note. And with that, it's curtains down on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Kavita and I will take your leave. Thank you so much for tuning in.